The year is 1934, and this photo album captures a rare voyage to Quebec and Montreal, just before Canada's golden era of cruises, which took place in the 1950s. And in the very back of this album is some paper items. We begin our trip in Old Quebec, where the Chateau Frontenac rises above the fortified upper town, built somewhere around the 1890s. It quickly became one of the most iconic hotels in Canada. Here's some nice early cobblestone streets that lead up to a staircase that leads to the old post office. And here's a picture of breakneck steps, or escalier cascou, Quebec's oldest stairway, built somewhere around the 1600s to connect the upper and lower town together. And we get two different views of it, one looking up and one looking down. And we also get to see some nice early photos of Rue sur le Cap, some of the early alleyways in Quebec. And then our trip takes us to a statue of Samuel Dale Champlain, the founder of Quebec, in 1608. And then here is a street view of the Chateau Frontenac. Now we're looking down at the city of St. Lawrence River from Mount Royal. Here's a really interesting picture. This is an unfinished dome of St. Joseph's Oratory Towers. Finished in 1967, this would be one of the largest church domes in Canada and one of the tallest in the world. And right below that, we even have a toboggan slide. Have you ever ridden a toboggan slide? Leave a comment below. And if this is the same one I think it is, this one was built in 1884. Here we have a luxury boat. This is the Duchess of Richmond, preparing to depart. Launched in 1928 and was operated by the Canadian Pacific to serve both cruise passengers and transatlantic travelers. Later to be used in World War II, she would be used to service a troop ship before being renamed the Empress of Canada. Here's some more pictures of St. Lawrence River captured while on the boat. This river was used for trading, immigration, and on our next page, we have two passengers, Lillian and Eve, and they are standing on the deck of the Duchess enjoying the cruise life of the 1930s. And here's a few glimpses of Gasp coastline. You can see some boats and the tree line in the distance. And here's another picture on St. Lawrence River with some boats in the distance. And here's a really cool picture of Quebec Harbor from the Duchess of Richmond. Here's a picture of the Provincial Parliament building in Quebec. I would imagine that this looks very different nowadays. If you've never seen this before, this is called a double exposure, where two photographs were developed on the same picture. And here's another street scene in Quebec. Here's another picture taken from Mount Royal, but this one's from the observatory. And this picture is taken from the Chateau Frontenac window. And for the next few final pages are these souvenir pictures, mass-produced, and as far as I know, probably not worth very much. And in the very back of the album are actually paper items to go with the pictures. Here is a brochure for the Great Lakes Transit Corporation with maps. And on our next page is a folded up menu for coffee shop specials for the Chateau Frontenac. Here's a nice advertisement for fine furs in Old Quebec. I would imagine this is pretty rare. This is the program of entertainment for the Canadian Pacific. This entertainment program would be aboard the Duchess of Richmond. This is super cool, and I would imagine this one's pretty rare as well. This is the Canadian Pacific menu that would have been on the Duchess of Richmond, showing any of the food that they would have been eating on the ship at the time. And here's one of the tour guides for anyone visiting Montreal. And on the next page, we have What's Doing and Around Quebec, the Canadian Pacific pamphlet, just showing you interesting places, I'm assuming, in Quebec. And we have a postcard of breakneck steps. And our very last page is a single piece of paper from the Chateau Frontenac Hotel. I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for the next photo album poll, where we'll let you guys vote on which one you see first.